What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's mentorship video. Like always, we have DMP as well.
What's up? What's up?
So today's video, we're going to be talking about accountability and your trading journal moving forward inside of this mentorship course. Accountability is one of the biggest things in this field because this is a individual competitive field, and you're basically working against yourself. It's not like you're competing against someone else. You're competing against yourself to be the best version of yourself. So this field is definitely a massive accountability thing. So with that being said, jumping into it, the first thing that we wanted to talk about today was that it's an individual field, and I just talked about that. Basically, what that means is that you as yourself are sitting in front of your computer and you're competing against yourself. So all the thoughts that you have in your head of, oh, I need to buy here or sell here, and like you're fighting against yourself and your emotions and what exactly your mind is telling yourself every single day. So having good discipline in that sense that you understand what kind of field you're in and what triggers you to then lead you down like a downward path. You need to just start to understand exactly what those triggers are and then basically remove them from the equation. So I know, for example, myself, a trigger is losing like an excessive amount of money like that I didn't want to risk on the trade. So say I want to risk $500 per trade, but I lose $750. That's definitely a trigger for me, and I would want to, over risk on the next trade, whatever the case may be. So to eliminate that, I just make sure that I only risk the max $500 per trade, and if then even less than that. So then I can be comfortable with losing that amount and just take the loss and move on with the rest of my day. So definitely individual is a very important aspect in trading.
Yeah, very important not to compare your own progress to anyone else's progress. It's all going to be isolated. You will learn the same thing as other people around you, but everyone will be at a different learning pace. So it's important to be centered and just focus on your own journey. You may see someone, acquire a very big payout, and it might urge you to go and, over leverage your accounts, look to scale up, and you might end up setting yourself back instead of, pushing yourself forward. So it's important just to, stay within your own path and, kind of go at your own pace. It would be the easiest way to see progress. And I've personally experienced that. So I can definitely say that with confidence.
100%. I agree. The second point that we wanted to talk about today was discipline. Now, we talked about it a little bit in the first point, but having good discipline is like extremely important. And I kind of talked about this in the first video that we spoke about, that, it's trading is almost like the gym, and that you need to have good discipline in that sense. And it's the same thing. You can't out trade your psychology. And that's why we're going to put a lot of emphasis on psychology and discipline and working on yourself outside of the charts as well, because what happens outside of the charts then translates onto the charts, and you want to have good discipline in basically all aspects of your life. And we're going to talk about that more later on, but anything you want to touch on?
Yeah. So with discipline, it's just important. You show up every day. You're gonna have days where you may blow a set of accounts, and you're gonna decide maybe you want to take the rest of the week off, or you want to take a unknown amount of time off, whatever the case may be. But even if you're not going to buy another set of accounts, you should always show up to the market. Paper trade the market, forward test the market. It's important to show up every single day. I personally think breaks are only good in certain situations. I think you should always, keep your brain active and moving in the market, keep it warm. Because it's very easy to get rusty, taking a week off, you'll come back and it feels like you may not know how to read price action. But you don't have to trade real capital, but always show up. It's the same thing as a gym. You wake up on a given day, you don't want to go, but you have to. So it's just a routine you have to get used to. And eventually, it kind of just fits into your daily schedule and becomes the norm.
100%. Yeah. Definitely showing up every day is definitely a big thing, because like you said, there's going to be instances where you blow accounts and you're going to have to just continue on with your day, not let it affect your mood, and show up the next day and do it all over again, because like we're trying to portray, this is going to be one of the hardest things that you guys go through, and just understanding that and realizing that it's not going to be easy, and that you just have to keep going through it and grinding every single day. Understand that you'll be in a much better place than majority of people starting off.
Great.
Third thing that we wanted to talk about today was health. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but also working on yourself outside of the charts translates to actually seeing progress on the charts. So, going to the gym, eating right, eating clean, feeling good in your actual overall health and the way that you feel like yourself translates to then having a good performance on the charts. And I can definitely talk about this firsthand. I've been overweight, and losing a bunch of weight now, I feel 10 times better, like extremely, extremely better. And that also translates to the charts. I know what I was doing wrong on the charts to now fix it and overcome it, and that basically applies to me being overweight. I knew what I had to fix and overcome, and now I feel so much, so much better.
Yeah, agreed. Health is a big thing, like Jan said. I can also say that I was overweight, and this was even the beginning of January of 2025. I was relatively heavier, around like 245, 250, and now at the start of 2026, I'm down to 200 flat. And as the weight was decreasing, like I felt like my clarity on the charts was getting better. You wake up with much more energy. You feel better. And you just have an overall like better vibe compared to when you're sitting around and you're just kind of moping around or not really doing anything, no motivation. It's very hard to be focused on the chart. So yeah, it's important to focus on your health. Even if you just go to the gym or just take a walk for an hour, walking around, get 10,000 steps in a day, you'll notice your life kind of change weekly. So health is very, very important. Your life outside of the charts is very important because the charts are gonna test your mental health and everything like that. So you do need to, find some balance between your outside life and, your trading life.
100%. And I know that we're kind of, giving you guys a crap load of stuff to implement into your life, but honestly, the hardest thing is just starting. So as long as you just start making small improvements in your life in certain areas, you will see like that it will just become a snowball effect, and that you're going to want to, go to the gym and eat clean, and just every aspect of your life will then kind of sort of mold into itself. You'll see it's great. And then the last thing that we wanted to talk about today was your trading journal. So everyone's going to be given their own channel within this mentorship Discord, where we're going to expect you to post every single trade that you take, win or loss, if it's dumb, if it's good, if it's the best trade you ever had or the worst trade you ever had, every single thing inside this channel, and then a good description, why you took the trade, how you felt during the trade, what outcome it was, what you could have done better, just basically explaining and journaling everything that you felt and that you could have done better, or why you did so good on the trade. Just explain everything, right? And this is going to be only for you to type in. We'll have access to type in it and congratulate you and stuff, but no one else will be able to type, any of the mentees. But it will be public for the entire server, so people will be able to view your progress and actually learn from mistakes that you're making, and then actually you can do the same thing and learn from other people that are making mistakes as well.
Right. Yeah. So it just ties into more accountability. The mentorship server is not only just going to be, everyone one on one. You guys are going to be able to, collaborate with each other, help each other. It's, going to be very similar to, a classroom. It's just not going to be as dreadful as a classroom, as we all know. But yeah, when it comes down to your journaling, it'll help you guys hold each other accountable. Your peers will have the opportunity to let if you're doing something wrong, and vice versa. And it's going to help speed up your journey quite a lot. I can definitely say, from trading alone, like, with no group versus trading alongside Jan, there's been a lot of progress. Jan is able to hold me accountable on any given day, and vice versa. We can go through the market together. And, you guys have the ability to make friends with each other, trade together as well. So, that's going to help you guys out a lot.
Yeah, and then just honestly, guys, realizing that, we're all in this together. Eventually, maybe we'll, dissipate and go in our own separate ways. But for now, we're all in this together. So it's best to just, piggyback off of each other and, learn as a group, and, all of us make it together. That's the ideal goal,
Right. Yeah. Always keep in mind it's not a competition to any extent. So, you should never, view anyone else's success, and compare it to, your failures or anything like that. Everyone's in this game with the same goal at the end of the day. And, there's infinite money for all of us. So it will never be a PvP competition or anything like that. And, everyone should want to see success out of everybody. So, Just always keep that in mind.
Exactly. Perfectly said. So yeah, that was today's video. Just really talking about accountability and going over what we expect from you as a mentee in our trading journals. It's going to be really important, and the way that we're setting up this mentorship to be is basically like DMP said, how it's going to be a majority on you, but we're going to be every single step of the way. So don't feel like this is going to be completely on like yourself. Obviously, we'll be here for you, but just understanding that, you know, it is a mental battle and an individual battle against yourself to become the better person of yourself. So just want to really emphasize that and make sure that you guys understand that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so we're basically going to give you guys the blueprint, and you're going to have to take that blueprint and build on it. We're not going to leave you astray or anything like that. You guys will have the ability to contact us at any given time, questions, help, anything of that nature. But we're basically not going to give you the trades or signal by you or anything. We definitely want you guys to learn on your own, and with the idea that one day you're going to be traveling around on your own accord. Maybe you might go to a whole different time zone, and you'll have the ability to trade on your own without needing me or Jan alongside you. So that's the ideal goal that we want you guys to have in your heads while you go through this mentorship.
exactly. Perfect. All right, guys. With that being said, we'll see you in the next section of this mentorship. Yeah, till then, peace out, guys.
Later.